So let's take a look at crude oil here on a higher time frame. I've got my brick wicks. Here's FEYE. I bought some calls on this last night. And what we want to do is take this to crude oil. FireEye, yeah, big move down. All right, so let's right click. Let's go to data series and let's say do not show. Okay, so here's crude oil making new structure lows right now intraday. Okay, so in crude oil, you see that we've got a pretty significant spike low here at 99.80s. We're pulling back down into the $100 handle. Big Mo right here has been bearish. We got a slight bull turn right there, but you see now we're starting to point back down. Okay, my relative momentum series has gone bearish right here. Stokes are starting to roll over. So we'll see if we can get a long entry to some type of a gap fill here shortly. Okay, so crude oil new lows, area of interest 99.80. If we get buy signals here, we'll look for the rally back to fill that. Okay, let's take a look at S&P. $60-minute chart, S&P broke that support level at 71.25. Okay, we bought that yesterday right here, got a decent little pop intraday, and now we've rolled back over. So you see double bottoms after we put in the symmetrical double top. We rolled over, so here's a new structure low with a lower close. Okay, so next swing support down here, 1863s, plenty of room to run. 68 Globex lows right there. So nothing big right here. What we will watch for here is a potential 2618 sell signal. After we put in this double top right here, we take the swing high to the new structure low. We look for a return back to the 618 retracement. So we'll rally back to around the 1873 handle. Watch for a qualified sell. Our stops will be 78.25, risk 5, and then our target 1 would be 68 to make 5, and then target 2 is the 1618 Fibonacci extension. And that's a projection right back down into this other swing point, which would produce a 10-point winner from 5 points of risk. So a 2-contract position size basically is going to risk about 12 to make around. That's right. Okay. All right, so Nasdaq, let's go take a quick look here at Nasdaq. Nasdaq again rolled over this morning a little earlier. I bought the Dow Jones. Nasdaq took out the lows, so I covered my Dow. And you see Nasdaq taking out the lows of the Globex this morning. We're on new lows for the day here at 35.20. We got a real nice bid zone back into this 3,500 to 3,505. Okay, so we went new structure low, lower high, new structure low, lower high. And again, we'll just watch some real basic fib. There's the swing high that preceded the decline to this new structure low. We did an outside return right here to a 382 fib retracement before we dove straight south to the 1618 Fibonacci extension. Then from this swing high to here, we'll measure that same leg. We rallied back to the 618 retracement. And now you see that my 127 fib is at 34.80s. Now again, gang, we've talked all week about the if-then proposition. So if the market were to trade through this 3,500 and close below it, then 34.80 next target. So if we get a bear sell-off today, 34.80 would be an extended target. And from our swing highs right here, there's our Globex high, 35.45s to 34.80, 65 to 70 point move. That's 1.5 or 1.2 ATRs, 120%. So that's reasonable to expect that for the day session. All right, let's take a look at S&P. Nasdaq, you can see clearly the weakest. Yeah, holding tight right there. And then finally, let's go take a look at GC0614. Gold rolled over. Again, what do these markets look like at turning points? See, we put in the overbought condition here, retest here, double top, bearish divergence, pop back up right there, the triple top. Structure resistance at the 13.1450 held. And then impulse, new structure low, lower high. Now we've got a double bottom that's formed against this 1286 handle. So today intraday, low risk long entries against 86.87. For a pop back to 95, a buy signal against these lows is counter trend. We've just rolled over to a new structure low. A sell signal against the 1295, we're trading with the trend. Okay, so areas of interest, 85 to 95 there in gold intraday. All right, let's come back over and take a look right here. I've got my cluster trader running on the left side, crude oil. So again, this is the level 2. We watched this guy yesterday real time. Right over here on the right side is my ability to manage that position. So I've got the auto trade turned off on the right chart, and I'm just looking at the chart trader. Now, we've gapped lower for the session so far. So our gap fills way back up at 185. So again, on the buy side, I've got a little bit of bullish sentiment here, looking for a potential gap gap fill. Okay, right here around the open at 8 o'clock. Where are we? About right here. Around 114.15 area, so about a 60 to 70 cent gap. So on this buy signal right here, again, remember, if we are long, then any stops that end in a 5 come down to 4. Any targets that end in a 6 come down to 4. I'm actually going to roll this target well up, looking for that extended target into the potential gap fill. Now, I applied my strategy to the setup right here. So you can see I've got my strategy running in the strategy template from the control center. And what this allows me to do, I can trade around the strategy, the level 2 system, on this chart on the right-hand side. I just come down, I set my ATM strategy to none, so I don't have any conflicting ATMs, and then I can trade 1 or 2 lots around the open position. All right, top left-hand side, Nasdaq, 3540, key level right there. Let's pull this guy down. This is intraday. Look left right here. Resistance on the way up, 520s. Becomes support as we make new structure highs. We've pulled back into the 520s right there. And again, there's your turning point, black tip signal. So yesterday we watched bear rotation. The big Mo goes to bearish, black. There's our black tip sell right there with trend. We saw back-to-back signals yesterday on that exact same trade. Big directional move in the morning right here. So here we had the cluster 2 sell, cluster 2 sell. Beautiful directional move. Those are worth about 50 points in the Nasdaq. Okay, so after that big sell-off, now we've come back in. Once we got our bear rotation, see how we double topped, triple topped, quadruple, sell the retest right here, the DSR level. We rolled over, new structure low, lower high. New structure low, lower high holds. We get the color rotation, the extreme RSI down here, and then the black tip sell. Perfect short entry. And remember, we looked at it 2 ways. We sold next bar market, which would be 35.2950 short. Our lows plus 10, or we waited till the black candle to be a little bit more conservative with our entry. See if we get this sell signal right here. Okay, so Nasdaq top left, and then top right-hand side Dow Jones. Okay, there's our target 1 is attained on our crude oil auto trade. Now this allows me, again, the strategy put me in the position. Now I'm able to come over here, left click once, and just trail the stop based on my rules of engagement. Again, we've got a lot of room to run, so I'm going to let this run until we get a reversal signal, which we just got right there. Okay, so the black tip sell signal just occurred on the left-hand side. Over here on the right, my target 1 is 100 even. If I'm short, and my profit target ends in 0, I round it up to 0.1. And currently my target 2 is resting here at the lows of the day. So again, if we break those lows, we'll get a continuation move down. I'm going to pull this down and modify it. Now let's go look at our protective stop. Our protective stop is right at this last swing high. So again, I want to respect structure. So I'm going to move 1 to 36, 1 to 37, right above that swing high. So remember, gang, 3 ways we get out of these. A, our targets are hit. B, our stops are hit. C, we get a reversal signal based on the level 2 strategy. Okay? So we'll pull this guy back down. Potential sell signal up here in the Nasdaq with trend. Most recently, this low did take out the previous low by a full 3 or 4 points. RSI is already overbought. You can see right there. All right, there's a reversal signal in crude oil. Now remember, we're looking for a significant number of trades so we can watch the management of the signal. I'm going to come down to 04 and 03. You see the profit target ends in 41. I'm going to pull that down to 39. And then again, I'm going to let the balance run for a bigger move up here. And I've got my strategy right here set to trade every turn, which means that literally every black tip signal we get, it's going to put us in a position. Then you can watch us walk through managing that trade. Nasdaq up here, overbought bearish divergence. We'll go aggressive sell. We would sell them right here at market. Or if we're more conservative, we wait for the black candle. Dow Jones right here, we had a nice bull channel. See, the Dow was rolling nicely. We'd make a new structure high, come back, hit our low-to-low trendline extension. Test our previous high-to-high extension. Test it again, test it again. Then another test right here. So I bought them here this morning, covered around here. You see they did roll over when the Nasdaq made new lows. The Dow's been stronger than these other markets here in the most recent couple of days. So we'll see if the Dow can pop up here. You see the Dow is opening right around where it closed, so there is no gap fill here. Yeah, 150 tick chart on the Dow Jones is pretty solid. Dow's got lighter volume, so I want to stay in that 150 tick range. Okay, reversal signal bottom right again. Okay, let's expand this. Now again, I'm going to rock these up just a couple of ticks to put my protective stops right above the highs. My 99.90 right here at the lows becomes 99.91. Now we're going kind of sideways down here in crude oil. The whole premise of what we do, and what I strongly encourage you to do, is all of the information that we gather is either visually oriented or it's audible, right? So either you're listening to news events, you're reading information from blog posts, whatever it might be, or if you're a technical trader like we are, then you are watching charts. And we've got technical indicators that are based on trading those charts, right? So the indicators are derivatives of price. And so I want each of these indicators, or each bar color, or each turning point black tip, it represents something for me. And it literally is as simple as, what do I see? What does it mean to me? And then what do I do based on that meaning? It's the same thing every time. So our primary focus has been on visual price patterns. Then we add to that some technical indicators. So we look for confluence. So as we're talking about this, right there is a symmetrical double bottom forming in the Nasdaq. So we're at a DSR level. We're buried RSI extreme oversold. Oversold, lower high, bullish divergence. Okay, up here, again, turning point black tip. If we wait for the black bars, our short signal came in around 35.28. Market moved against us to 29, 1 point, and then immediately came down, hit our 5-point target for 35.23s, and then we'd be taken out on the trail stops right there on our fib dots. Okay, so what we do is we assign value to each of the indicators, and then once you have this down pat and you know your rules of engagement, then we take it and we automate that. So this automates those rules of engagement using our black tip indicator right here. All right, so there we're out on stops. Crude oil just made new structure highs. Okay, so the automation right here at the level 2 removes the questions about where do I enter, are all my rules met, is everything in line, and it just simply puts us in the position. That's it. It places the initial stops, it places the profit targets, then we come in and manage the trade. Yeah, now it can run purely automated, but again, when I leave it on trade every turn, I'm doing that to show you a bunch of frequencies so you can see how the strategy works, you can see how to manage it. So the level 2 aspect is to allow us to remove the fear of entering the positions, to remove the guesswork from why to get in and where to get in, where to place stops. Once I'm in the trade, then I simply manage that trade just like I would based on my normal rules. Yeah, it's perfect. It really is. Now again, you can't put yourself in a position where you just let the thing run. For example, if it's a counter trend trade like we looked at yesterday, remember I would reduce my position size, I would take partial profits quickly. If we're trading with the underlying trend, based on our rules of engagement, I'd leave the 2 contracts on. So gang, what it does for you is it helps remove the emotion. Level 2 brings you into the world of algorithmic trading. You see that we just sold a 2 lot right there, and then all we're asked to do as traders is just manage that trade based on very simple rules of engagement. We do the same thing over and over and over with consistency and repetition. And again, A, it removes the emotion. B, it removes the indecision. C, it allows you to track multiple markets without having to make decisions on everything at one time. It's a fantastic way to trade. So make sure you click on the button below, test this strategy out, give it 2 weeks, and also inquire about our upcoming contest to find out who's going to win a $3,997 value. I'll see you on the next trade.